Alrighty. And we are live with Writing Sprint Wednesdays. Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome to our regularly scheduled programming of Writing Sprints on this fine Wednesday. What is it? May 28th today. Thank you for joining me. This is going to be a great time. As per usual, before I get into the hellos and the obligatory stuff, we have 3 20-minute sprints lined up. All the links are below me down in the description. We'll have a 5-minute break in between. But just to make things easier, I'm going to drop the link to the first one in the chat there. Then the other thing that I have to get you all to do for me to say, hey, Doug, I love being here. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed. Tell a writing friend that we do this every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. See if they want to join us and get some of their own words written. With that out of the way, let's say hello to some folks. In the chat here, we have Elena and we have Samantha and we have B. Hello, hello, everybody. Who else do we have? Aaron and NJ and Renee and JM Brown and Sarah's here. Hello, everybody. Hello, welcome, welcome. I have a lot of chat going on in there that I have not caught up on, but I do see that NJ is trying to stay focused enough to write because today is the last meeting for your young writers. Everyone's sad about it, but you're sharing all your work. That sounds fantastic. You should be really proud of everything you've done with them, NJ. Iva's here as well. Hello. Let's keep scrolling. David, hello. Welcome, welcome. Let me make sure I don't miss anybody. The Doug's here. Awesome. Awesome. I think I've covered everyone. And if I haven't said your name and I miss it, I apologize. Call me out. Shame me for it. If you're hanging out and you haven't chatted yet, say hello. Tell me where you're writing from. Tell me what you're working on today. I'm really hoping to finish the last chapter of my horror novel today. And with that, I don't normally do this. I try to control what it is that I write on writing sprints so that, there's nothing sensitive, nothing too macabre on screen. But I do want to give a quick trigger warning for folks. My protagonist does end her own life at the end of this story. And so that is what I will be writing today. You shouldn't be looking at the screen anyway. You should be looking at your own screen and writing your own work. However, if that is something that you are sensitive to, if that is something that triggers some pretty negative memories for you, just try not to look at the screen whilst I'm writing this. I'll try and move past it quickly. I won't go into great detail. I'm a connoisseur of the square bracket saying insert stream unfriendly details here when it comes to my writing. But I don't want someone to look up and be surprised by that. So there you go. Okay, what else we got going on in the chat? J.M. Brown's working on a new middle grade novel that you're thinking about starting and want to explore the world a bit. I love that. There's something so exciting about exploring a new world. Yes, but amazing. Last chapter. It's sad, and I'm hoping to really like. So this is my shameless plug to say, if you're writing about something sensitive, and this is a topic that has personally affected me and it's personally affected a lot of people, you want to make sure you get it right. Don't let that stop you from doing it. And don't let that stop you in your first draft from doing it either, because you can go back and fine tune it. So the way that I'm going to display it here is not the way that it's going to be displayed in the final draft. Right? I just got to get my thoughts out, get that draft written. But you're welcome, NJ. Kara, hello. You're going to be journaling today, which is not a high word count thing, but still very, very important and good for you. We have 45 seconds to go here. Aaron's still working up on cleaning up notes still left in your nano draft, but you're done the draft revisions, right? Am I correct in reading between the lines there? And Rosalinda's here as well. Awesome. Hello. Okay, we have 30 seconds. Let me add this to the stage. What am I listening to today? I'm listening to fantasy lo-fi for creating / relaxing / gaming. I'll share the link for that afterwards because it's uh, more complicated yet than I'd like, but 5 seconds to go. Agnes is in the chat in word sprints. Happy writing, everyone. I'll see you in 20 minutes. All right, everybody. And so ends our first sprint of the day. Let me know how that went for you. I'll make my face big here after I copy and paste my words into the next sprint so that I can have them all together. Let me do that and that. Fantastic. Let's see. I know some folks joined in whilst we were typing there. Emily, welcome. TW, hello. Erica, hello. Awesome. Let's recap what's going on here. Aaron, first revision is done. That's from before the sprint. So fantastic. I'm really proud of you. That's awesome. Um, Samantha, well, the manuscript is sitting at minus 43 words now, but I just finished writing my argument to get rid of 2 chapters. So I guess it's minus 5,043 words for this 20-minute session. Hey, if they got to go, they got to go. Right? That's one of the hardest parts about writing is figuring out what isn't serving your story, what isn't pushing it in the direction that you want, what isn't the story that, or the story isn't turning out the way that you want it to. So you got to cut. I've been there. I've cut 5 figures of words before because it just went awry. So I understand your pain. B got 502. Reed was a few minutes late, but got 573. Aaron got 39. Rosalinda 377. Emily also, despite being late, 603. David 157, Sarah 159, JM Brown 371, Elena 139, Renee got 204 through 15 minutes of editing. That's awesome. I've also probably has a negative word count because you were editing. It's nice to see that we have a lot of editing going on here. Because I really like seeing everybody here working on their projects. But when I see that people are switching to editing mode, that means that you've put in the work and you've gotten to kind of the next stage in the storytelling process. And I think that is fantastic. Let me do a little bit of housekeeping here. Grab the link for the second sprint. You will find a link to it in the top left of the sprint we just did. You'll find a link to it below me in the description. And now you'll find it in the chat as well, or the comments if you're joining us on Facebook. But that is a rarely used platform for us. I think the vast majority of us are here on YouTube. B edits after sprints. Yeah, I edit after the draft's done. I tried once or twice doing some editing as I went, write a bit, go back, fix it up, write the next part. Just not for me. I have two different mindsets when I'm doing these things. And oftentimes the stories are so big, I want to get them done so I can work on perfecting them. I mentioned, a little bit of a less cheery part. I mentioned a bit of a trigger warning because my protagonist is going to end her life in this chapter, the last chapter of my book. That didn't happen in the last sprint. It will happen in this one. It is imminent. So if that is something that you're sensitive to, if that is something you don't want to read about, don't look at the screen when I'm doing this sprint. Again, I will keep it light. I will keep it, as respectful and as stream appropriate as I can. But that is an event that's going to happen, and unfortunately, I can't skip over it because this is the last bit of my story. But that should be the last that I have to talk about that. So let's see what else is going on. Let me check what our timing is. We got a minute and a half here. These 5 minutes go by so quickly. Rosalinda, you're welcome. Yeah, I shared it at the beginning. I don't like sharing trigger warnings twice because that's kind of defeats the purpose of it, right? But I want to make sure that people are aware of that. NJ created a new creature. I've said this before. If I could world build for a living, I absolutely would. So making new creatures, making magic, making places, I am obsessed with it. So tell us about the creature that you made, NJ. And yeah, Kara, I absolutely agree. I clicked on a link that sent me to Facebook the other day, and I was surprised. Well, I was on my phone, so I guess it automatically logged in because the credentials are saved to my Google account. I had a lot of notifications because I have not been there in a long time, nor do I feel an urge to. But if Facebook is your thing, I'm not going to yuck your yum, right? You do you. It's just it's not my yum, so it is yucky for me. But yeah, we only have so much time in a day, so much time on this planet. So I choose not to spend it on Facebook. I choose instead to spend a lot of my time looking at dog videos on Instagram, which I shouldn't be spending that much time. I should be writing instead or going for a walk or something. But man, they're so freaking cute. Hi, Ashley. All right, our next sprint is going. I will see you all in 20 minutes. Ta ta for now. All right, everybody, and that is our second sprint of the day done. How did that go? I see that Susan has joined us. Hi, Susan. Thanks for hopping in. One thing that I don't do regularly enough is reflect on how much progress we've made together in the wordsprints.org session. So the first time around, we had 9 folks participating over there. And I know a lot of people choose to write in their own Dabble project or whatever word processor you're using, or maybe you're doing editing work outside of this. We had 9 people in the word sprint with an average of 437 words a person for a total of 3,937 words. This time around, we still had 9 participants, but our average went up 525 words this time, which is funny because I wrote like 200 less words this time around. So y'all are carrying me for this one because we got a group word count of 4,727 words that time around. Let me grab the link to the new sprint before I celebrate all the successes in the chat here. Make sure to copy and paste your words wherever you're writing from. There we go. And okay, let's see how we did. Rosalinda got 271, B got 429, Reed got 538 with a subtotal of 1,111. That's got to be good luck, right? Renee 156, Ashley 554, Emily 554 as well. That's got to be good luck too. JM Brown 736, Sarah 120. B, realize you need a name, you have to go find one. I despise coming up with names. And quite frankly, I find it easier to come up with a fantasy name than a real name, for lack of a more succinct term, or specific term. Like it's brutal for me. David got 278, Erica got 80 words. You're struggling with this opening, you're definitely overthinking it. Just skip it then. Right? Let some momentum take you into the parts that you want to write. You can always come back to it. You might get inspired, but don't feel like you have to dwell on something if it's giving you a hard time. Or if you really want to get it done, then dwell on it. Right? I can't tell you how to write, but when I'm struggling like that, I generally find that skipping ahead and coming back to it once I'm a little more inspired is my best process. Susan got 234. Uh, Sarah, it felt like I'd written loads more. uh, I always use real people's names from my life. Rosalinda says one of my characters has a last name Lansborough for some reason. Oh, I wonder where that came from. Thank you. I'm flattered. That's very kind. B, 60s women's names. Yeah. I'm bowing out. It's rough. Yeah. This is what I do, same as Reed here. During a word sprint, I'll often need a name and just put it in name 01, and I'll do a find and replace after the sprint is over. Square brackets are my go-to because it's easy to find them. I don't use them for anything else, except I'm writing the epilogue now. I finished the last chapter of my book. Very excited about that. But I'm writing an epilogue, and since the main character is now deceased, this epilogue is not from her. It's actually a transcript of a recording from her brother. And so at one point in this, and I might go back and change it, but I wanted to indicate that time passed in this recording, but you can't do that when it's just a transcript. So I just did square brackets. It said like approximately, 30 seconds elapsed or something technical sounding like that. And I think that's pretty fun. That's some epistolary writing. We mentioned that the last week or the week before during the sprints, and it's very unique, but I'm having fun kind of messing with it. Let's see what's going on here. Uh, Emily sells a character named the boy. Oh, Reed likes epilogues. Okay, see, I've traditionally have not been a fan, but I'm trying something different. I'm pushing myself. Right? I can't tell everyone here to push themselves and try something new if I don't do that myself. So I'm trying this out, doing a little different format. It's gonna be fun. Samantha, a phone call, but I think another minus 2,000 words. You're just butchering that story, but in the best possible way. Renee, thank you for joining us. I'm glad that you could. I'm glad you got some progress done in your editing. And we'll see you later. Tomorrow, 12:30 p.m. Eastern, Hank is running writing sprints. All right, everybody. We have 15 seconds to go here. Let me add this to stage. Remember to copy and paste everything that you're writing in these word sprint sessions. And yeah, this is our last session of the day, our last sprint of the day. So happy writing. I'll see you in 20 minutes. All right, everybody, that is our third and final sprint of the day done. How'd it go? I finished my epilogue. I'm done the first draft of my horror novel. I'm very excited about that. And then I spent some time just uh, coming up with the intro for this urban fantasy short story that I want to write. And something of a lot of stuff that I need to revise now. I have my novella that's going into its last round of revisions. I have the first draft of my dark fantasy novel that I need to revise. And now I have this horror novel that I'm going to need to revise. So the next couple of writing sprints that I'm going to be hosting with y'all is going to be just some more fun writing, some urban fantasy short stories, I'm thinking. But thank you for the congratulations. Thank you. You flatter me. Honestly, this as much fun as these writing sprints are, sometimes they're just an ego boost, and I love that. Don't get me wrong. Turns out trimming a 180,000 word manuscript is way easier than I thought. Yeah. All right, Ashley got 544 for a combined 1,098 total. Awesome, great job. B got 579 this go, so 1510 in total. Meeting the mother-in-law the first time. Ooh, very fun. Thank you. I see some kind congratulations here. I appreciate it. Reed 564 for a grand total of 1671 for the day. Excellent job. Sarah 181. Excellent job, and thank you. Ashley, it's senior prom tomorrow and you won't be here. Well, have a grand old time. Speaking of tomorrow, though, let me just pull up my calendar because we do have writing sprints at 12:30 p.m. Eastern, as per usual. But for our premium members, for Dabble Premium, we also have office hours tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's right after writing sprints. You'll find a link for that in your email that you got for the premium newsletter earlier this week, and also over in the premium space at Dabble U Campus. So I look forward to seeing everyone there tomorrow. We've been having some excellent office hours lately. It's been awesome. David 504, great job. Rosalinda 399, so close to that even 400. Iva, thank you for joining me for this stream. I'm glad that editing has gone well. A lot more congratulations for me. I appreciate it. I really do. I hate being the center of attention, but I do appreciate the kind words, so thank you. Erica wrote in the Dabble Sprint for the first time. Great job, 309. I think you broke through your block finally. I love to see that. Susan 304. David, thank you. Emily 450. Rosalinda got 1047 total. And yeah. Oh, and NJ, my new creature is a scaled fox that can photosynthesize. That's a heck of a statement. And I do want some more elaboration next week when we reconvene for writing sprints on Wednesday. All right. And that seems to be it. Okay, we will wrap it up here. Thank you again, everyone, for joining me today on this very exciting Writing Sprint Wednesday. Again, if you haven't already, hit that thumbs up button down below me to show some love for the stream, to be like, hey, Doug, thanks for being here. And hey, Dabble, thanks for putting Doug here. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you copy and paste your words out of wordsprints.org if you haven't done so already and if you joined us there. And otherwise, keep on writing, keep on doing whatever, go about your day, find success wherever you are looking for it today. And I will see you next time. Bye for now.